Welcome back to Saturday Night Ladies. I am Deej Barons.
I'm Shari Fasco.
And I'm Demi Constantine.
And we are your Saturday Night Ladies. And sadly, SNL 51 has come to an end with a really good episode to end things off. So now we're into our postseason, which will be alternating, releasing every 2 weeks with We Heart Hater, just so I can give myself a little bit of a break over the summer. As it is the end of the season, we're not going to do a report card this time. We're just going to do our thoughts on each of the cast members, and we're not going to separate between featured and repertoire. We're just going to do it alphabetical order, just like they do in the credits. Elemental P, Q, R. Okay. God, you know what? One of the most useful things I've learned was the ABC song. Now, apparently, they've changed the ABC song because people find Elemental P confusing. That's my favorite part.
What did they change it to?
So, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now I never will forget how to say the alphabet. Fuck that.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. So it's no for me, dog. No.
And yes, even though I'm Canadian, I still say Z because I just like it better.
What do people in Canada say?
Z.
Zed? Oh, man.
In the UK and Canada, it's Z.
I don't know how that's not caught up with the youth of America, because that seems like obvious.
Get your big dumb cup, put on your big dumb hat, and let's talk about Saturday Night Live. First, going to speak about Chloe Fineman, who I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the current longest-standing female. Am I correct or not correct?
You are correct, my darling.
Chloe Fineman has been with the show since season 45, so she's been with the show 7 years. Her classmates were Andrew Dismukes and Bowen Yang. We still can't figure out why she tends to be so polarizing, because I think she's perfectly fine. She's not my favorite SNL person. I don't hate her. She does really good impressions. She's always very committed to what she's doing. This last year, she hasn't quite been on as much. Now, granted, there's one time she was sick, which happens to all of us. And then there was the one weekend she was at I think it was a Paris Fashion Week, because she has started a fashion line, which I'm sure this is where she's going. As usual, at the end of the season, we'll always have the speculation of, are they going to stay? We don't know. So after last season, when they let go Michael Longfellow, I just stopped trying to guess who's going to be going and who's going to be staying. 7 years is the standard contract, including their rookie years. She does a lot of really good impressions. When she did Britney Spears, she's been a bit up and down this season. Sherry, what are your thoughts on her trajectory throughout the season?
This has been a very strange year for Chloe. I mean, she was on like gangbusters at the beginning. Her and Sarah, back-to-back sketches early in the season, sitting at a table. So she was very hot at the beginning of the season. She was on a lot. And she's been pretty steadily featured because there's only 5 women. As Deej said, she did take a little bit of time out. She's never been my favorite, but yeah, people are hard on her. She said something kind of like controversial recently, but I'm sure I could look it up, but she said something that got people angry. I can't really exactly remember. And ever since then, I think people have been pretty hard on her. I know she was in a movie recently, and the SNL nerds reviewed it, and it did not sound like anything I would want to see, where she plays a stripper. Didn't really appeal to me. I'm sure she's great in it. You know, she's been on, like Deej says, 7 years. Well, this one was very recent, and she's giving this girl becomes friends with her, or she mentors her because she wants to lose her virginity and she doesn't know anything. So Chloe's going to teach her. Didn't sound like my bag, but it was a big role for Chloe.
Summer 69, possibly that could be the one.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
So she's done 59 impressions throughout the show. She has 9 characters. Not a lot of consistent character work, but has definitely been known for impressions.
Yes, her impressions are terrific, especially her stellar Jennifer Coolidge. Her Melania is strong. You know, she's a perfectly talented member. She's done some heavy lifting this season to fill in all the voids. And she is that standard wife, girlfriend, mother. I feel she's had a decent season. I think it's better than last season. I think she's been featured a lot more because there's so few again, whereas Heidi and Ego were so huge and they were in so much. Chloe kind of got shoved into the third slot. So it's nice to see her blossom a little. And I think this has been a good season for her. We'll see if she comes back for 52. It'll be interesting to see.
Now, there was this video that came out recently where she's explained how she's basically the understudy for everybody, and her impressions for all of them were right smack on. She did the same thing before, because I remember her doing Kate McKinnon, worked so beautifully. What I really liked her in was Snack Homies. That is definitely one of her best sketches of the year. She was also featured on the web series The Rundown, which they're taking various SNL cast members to put together like the perfect SNL episode. So she was the one doing the things on the impression to put in the show. I haven't watched that one yet.
She has not been super active on the show because like she's been in and out. I really enjoy her when she did like an Anna Delvey impression. I really like that. When she did the Fashion Society Critics with Coleman Domingo, she got some killer one-liners with him, and she just pulls off the high fashion ridiculousness really well. I don't want to say that's her only note, but she plays it really well, and I definitely enjoy her in those things. I really enjoy her on the show. She did a great impression that I wish I was a little bit more familiar with influencers like Alex Cross and Alex Cooper or something. It looked like it was really delicious, and from everything I've seen, she got the impression down really well. I literally spent 0 minutes thinking about the cast and who they're gonna drop and who they're gonna bring on. Like, I never think about it because what am I gonna do about that? It doesn't really change my life in any way. We maintain at least four girls, 4 women, 4 females, however you want to characterize it. That's my take on that.
That character was Alexandra Cooper.
Thank you.
One of the things she's done in the past, she was in the Big Dumb Hat sketch.
Oh my God.
Which was in an Amy Schumer episode.
Trendy fashion.
We're moving on to the absolute talk of Saturday Night Live this year, Ashley Padilla. She came in last season with Emil and Jane. That was during season 50. She has done some impressions. She's doing a lot of political stuff right now with season 51. Caroline Levitt, Kristi Noem, Pam Bondi, basically any female member of the current Trump administration. One of the things that really got people's attention in 50, her Weekend Update appearance, Joanne's Fabrics. Because Joanne's Fabrics was closing out a lot of stores. And that came towards the end of the season, and everyone exploded over that. But this year, she got herself to 100 sketches, the fastest in anybody at SNL, and she's still a featured player. And a lot of people, myself included, really just said, just give the girl the promotion already. It can be done, but Lauren decided not to do that. Again, you can never really guess the mind of Lauren Michaels. Her best one for this year is the girl who just hooked up with Andrew Dismukes. Chemistry with both of them and just how they play. Not jokey, the way they go through this whole trajectory of just for sucking up, they get into a fight, then they make up, and they go off to do things again, usually in Colin Jost's dressing room. She did Mary-Kate Olsen and the Thanksgiving sketch that no one really liked.
Thanksgiving.
That one. Definitely known for what people are calling the Padilla pause, because she makes really good use of tone and silences. Robert Smigel has said in the press of how impressed she is with her. She's just like a very genuine person. I just love her energy. There's have been comparisons to Kristen Wiig, because they have a very kind of similar kind of energy. You have to commit to the bit, like if that's a fart sketch in The Office, the Oops, whatever it's called, this season. Fart humor isn't always my favorite, but just the way she was reacting, responding, made the sketch so much better. Plays well with everybody. I've never had, what we have noticed this last season, a lot of big group lady sketches, which is one of the best things that's happened. You can tell she enjoys what she's doing. A lot of the time, that's half the battle. You have to like what you're doing.
I mean, come on. It's her second year, and she's leading in screen time because the SNN, shout out to Mike Murray, who I've mentioned before, who takes these incredible stats. He sits with the pencil, he times everything, and they put it out. It's got to be unprecedented for at least the past 10 years. For somebody with 2 years to become that dominant, that quick, I can't remember it recently when a rookie has done something like that. And I consider a rookie, 2 years or less. That speaks for itself. Lauren knows what he has. He has a gold mine. What I don't want to see him do is what he did with Kristen, where they just put Kristen in everything. And don't get me wrong, she's one of my favorite cast members, but they put her in everything and they wore her out. So at the end, I think she was pretty exhausted. Still amazing, but I just think if they just held back a little bit, better for the overall show. I hope they just don't overuse her to the point that she gets exhausted because she's so talented.
Well, part of that was because in season 32, that's when they had all the big budget cuts at NBC. So it was a severely reduced cast. There was still Maya Rudolph and Amy Poehler, but they were pretty much transitioning out of the show. Before then, we lost Rachel Dratch. There was a lot of female roles that needed to be done. So there's some justification for that, but I know there's at some point people did get a little bit oversaturated with Kristen Wiig.
I was never tired of her, but from the talk, she was pretty exhausted. These are people, they need break. They need time to refresh and get back their mojo. And so far, I see them giving Ashley nice breaks. I think they've learned over the years. I think she's going to continue to be amazing, just like Kristen was amazing till the end of her tenure. I just think she's phenomenal. What I love is how chameleon-like she is. She goes from the center, from the fart sketch to the classroom sketch, reading the notes from the kids for the first time, and her reactions there. The haircut sketch, of course, that everybody raves about. The one that was cut for time that I know we can't really count, where she played Will Ferrell's dad, that was just in this recent one. And she's this little tiny thing trying to lift Will Ferrell up. She could do anything. She can be sedate and quiet and ensemble, or she can be the front and center. Are we talking TV? Are we talking TV? I can't believe what a chameleon she is. And that is the thing I admire most about her. And that is very, very Kristen Wiig-like. The way Kristen could go from character to character to character, she can do it too. And it's just amazing to behold.
And I think the most talked about sketch that she's done this year was the mom confession. She can play mom, she can play party girl, she can play, they did sort of overuse bridal party kind of sketches this year. Yeah, the mom confession was skillfully written, impeccably put forward by everybody.
What can possibly be said about Ashley BD that hasn't been said? But people are just hooked up. What I love about that is when there's everything politically is like so insane. There's so many things that maybe bother you. What's going on? But I've always wondered, like, well, what if you're really in love with someone? Would any of this stuff matter? And then the SNL did a bit on it, and it was Ashley Badia, and it was so perfect. I was sobbing. It was so funny. I could not believe it that they were actually making my dream a reality. But switching gears quickly. So Kristen Wiig, legend, Mount Rushmore status on SNL, period. Give her the ball. She's going to spike it. But correct me if I'm wrong. But I think the difference between oversaturation with concerns with Kristen Wiig versus Ashley Padilla is that Kristen Wiig, no sir constraints, but Kristen Wiig almost never played ensemble, if I recall. Kristen Wiig was always a character, and she was great, and she was amazing, and she committed, and she exuded comedy, like she was comedy. She breathed comedy, but I don't think she played ensemble very much. So I think I can understand better now thinking about it why there was like an exhaustion factor if you didn't like, because not everyone likes everything. But if you didn't love Kristen Wiig, I did. But if you didn't, if you knew, as soon as you saw her, you knew she was going to be a character. And she almost always was. If anybody can correct me on that. Ashley, for me, it's like watching Phil Hartman. She's so chameleonic, like Shari said, that you almost don't know who she is as a person. Like you don't know where she's coming from because she has so many beats, so many notes, so many skills in her toolbox that it's like watching a magic show every time. You're like, what is she going to do now? Even if she does nothing, she can still steal a little bit by just the way she makes a look, just the way she gestures, one line. She doesn't overpower the sketch, but she can steal it for a minute when she wasn't supposed to because the line wouldn't have been funny. But in regards to that, Ashley, she's classically trained. I don't know about her specific educational milestones, but it seems like almost like that's what comes first, and the comedy instincts are also baked in, but the professionalism of being an actor is what shows up first, and then the comedy like naturally fills in. I don't know. I've never seen anything like it, but she really reminds me of Phil Hartman. She's like an old SNL soul already. She is such a indispensable. Already, she's an indispensable pillar of the show. No pressure, and she just seems to wear it. And I've seen other interviews that I think they're trying to do like damage control, because I saw Chloe, Ashley, and Sarah interview for like Vanity Fair, I think, or Esquire, one of them. And you can tell the way the girls are around her that it's not discord, but it's not competition, because it's like, we know you're the best. Like, it's like acceptance and not reverence. It's like it's a very I don't want to say weird energy, but it's a noticeable energy, because it's not playful, but it's not competitive. It's kind of like we accept that you are Ashley Padilla. So we know, we all know. We don't need to cut off her time or give her more time, because it's just known that we were in the presence of Ashley Padilla, and she's, the boss.
You're absolutely right, Demi. Kristen was always at the center, and that is exhausting, and that's what I think did it. And you're also brilliant, absolutely brilliant, in comparing her to Phil Hartman.
Thank you.
Spot on, because he was a chameleon. He could go from caveman lawyer to somebody's dad in like a millisecond. And yeah, that's a beautiful comparison. Bravo.
Sorry. Thanks, sorry. Thanks.
Definitely co-sign on the Phil Hartman thing so much. And a little bit of Jan Hooks as well, just because she is legend.
Yep.
And the chick it is kind of easy a lot of times to get oversaturated with particular cast members. Like season 49, I was getting a little bit overloaded on Bowen Yang. No, don't get me wrong.
Never.
I love Bowen.
Never.
But with season 49, it could have been because I was wanting Michael Longfellow to get more screen time. But, what are you going to do? Sometimes you just can get tired of people just the way it is. Ashley, yeah, she is definitely a season 2 superstar, so she is definitely going to repertory cast, because they'd be crazy to let her go.
Oh my God.
And next we have the classic Sarah Sherman. Oh, this wonderful little spitfire that she is. Her fashion choices, I definitely approve. I mean, she has her own special Jean Fluvog boot available, and that's a pretty epic kind of thing. So she started in season 47 with James Austin Johnson and Aristotle Ansari. Atari, yeah, and Aristotle unfortunately did not survive that season, but I mean, where can you start with Sarah Sherman? I mean, there's so many things that she does great. She does impressions, both male and female, like her Bernie Sanders, absolutely fabulous. Fran Drescher is another good one.
Jewish Elvis.
Yes, that was such a great one.
Oh my God.
And her on Update, she really stood out in her early time on the show, was Roasting Jost as much as possible. A lot of people have been mentioning that there's not quite a lot of the Sarah Squirm. This season especially, she and Chloe did need to step into a lot of those roles around the table. When she did Kate Bush this year at the Weird Duets Christmas album sketch.
My God.
As a long time Kate Bush fan, she did that absolutely perfectly. She just has a great energy. I haven't seen much for stand-up, but I still have to finish her special that I started watching. I just haven't had time to get back to it. And I don't mind a little bit of that kind of gross out kind of comedy. She just has injected so much of a joyful spirit into the show. So she hit her 300 sketch mark this season. She's been featured a lot in the SNL promos every week. She was part of Goo Goo Man in the Ryan Gosling episode. She has transitioned a lot this year more to those kind of utility roles, which is nothing wrong with that. And she does them well. The one that she did just this last week with Will Ferrell, the Nudemans. Sort of a Will Ferrell kind of vibe as well, because she's just willing to be able to have the back of her costume just cut out with the tattoo that says "Enter here," pointing at her butt. She just has no fear. One of the great things this year was the drunk raccoon on Weekend Update.
That was great.
A long-time Weekend Update star. Not only for the stuff that she did with Colin, even this year, let me just go to
Auctioneers.
That one was not so much funny. It did have some funny moments, but the skill that takes. And talking fast is not an easy thing to do. I can't do it. Just talking regular. Her doing Byron Gnome.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
It doesn't matter. She will commit. She will be fearless. And I got to do a little bit of a shout out for last season when she played Margaret Atwood.
Oh yeah.
The Mulaney episode on What's That Name. She didn't have much to say in that sketch, but she just has a very awesome presence. I want her to continue. Please don't leave yet, Sarah. We still need you. We still love you.
100%. I don't think she's going anywhere. She just seems so at home there, so comfortable, so poised. You know, she's getting to be more chameleon like herself. She was a little bit pigeonholed, as many of them start out pigeonholed. Like she had the whole squirm thing. She had the meatballs, which was very big for her, with the little singing meatballs, and that's kind of where she and Dambula started. And so that's sort of where she was pegged. But she has just like broken out of that little box. She can do anything. She can be the subtle. She's got the subtlety just like Ashley. She can be subtle. She doesn't have to be the star. She definitely doesn't have to be the star. She's an excellent ensemble player. I think where she shines is on the update desk. But I love her everywhere. But there's nothing more fun than watching her on the update desk and watching her demolish two guys who've been at that desk for, 12 years? She doesn't just demolish Joe. She gets a couple zingers in on Jay too. And I just love it. I love that she can be on the footing with both of them. Kristi Noem's husband, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. The raccoon, brilliant. Another cut for time that was great from this latest one, where she's talking about her smullet, her hairdo, that is a Paul Cartney circa 1971 or something. I wish it had not been cut, but I know they only had so much time. Here she's cutting herself down. She's roasting herself. And Colin gets to be the one who's picking on her when she goes in for the kiss. Because she talks about how, look at all the sketches where men are avoiding my impulsive kisses. I don't think any of it was on purpose. I know she knows it wasn't on purpose, but what a great way to milk it for comedy. She is exactly what Deej said. She is 100% fearless. She will show skin. She will wear ridiculous outfits. She will do whatever she needs to do. She will be a severed head in a sketch. That was last year too, in My Best Friend's House. She's not afraid to be quiet and she's not afraid to be loud. I think she's an absolute original voice. I look forward to at least a couple more seasons.
Sarah Sherman has won me over. When Sarah Sherman started, I have to admit, I don't know what kind of a place I was in, but she was too optimistic, too colorful, too young. I was like, what is this? Like, what is this? I didn't know who she was. I read it, loved her. It was the googly eyes sketch. I forget what season, but she played someone with the crazy googly eyes. And you knew she couldn't see, but you committed so much to the bit. I forget even what was happening. I just remember she had these gigantic googly eyes on her face as a result of an accident. And it was so funny and so original. And it was had her trademark all over it. Whatever she was supposed to be like, it was that. And I loved it. And I was like, okay, this is pretty good stuff. Even the Jost roast, like Reddit loved those. And I was like, I didn't think they were funny. I was like, okay, we get it. But the more elaborate the characters got and the more elaborate the backstory got, and it came to the same conclusion was roasting Jost, that in itself became so funny to me that I was like, how elaborate is this premise going to start? It's going to end in the exact same place. So like the meta aspect of the repeated vehicles for just making fun of Colin Jost became so funny to me. And then I've said it before, but she went on Mike Birbiglia's podcast and she has said that she is purposely trying to be more utilitarian to the cast, be more of the ensemble, be more indispensable, and less so her own vision of herself, but she is so unequivocally to the core herself. I don't think any button-up suit could change that about her. She'll always want to be gross. She'll always want to be way more disgusting than she'll ever let her be. The fact that she's trying to temper it with doing some other roles for sustainability, which I think is great because it gives her longevity and it gives her a lot of texture and it just gives her a lot more moves and professionalizes her a little bit. And I think it's very conscious, and I applaud it, because when she does come out as a raccoon, when she does come out and make jokes about her vagina on the skating rink talking to Colin Jost, it's like so bracing it's so exhilarating. I feel so alive when she makes those kinds of jokes. It's not one note anymore. Oh, she can do a lot of things, but she's choosing to do this. So it's become a lot more satisfying. And the auctioneer sketch is just, my jaw was on the floor watching that. The ability to rattle off that many words in succession without stuttering, without spittling. I did not know she had that in her. I didn't know Matt Damon had that, but it was so good. She has so many avenues to explore. I will be genuinely sad if Sarah isn't back next season. She has so many moves yet to explore, brand new skill set that I don't think anyone knew was even there. So Sarah's great. More Sarah. Thank you, Sarah.
The Eyes sketch, as its official title, was season 48, episode 2. The one bit in that sketch she didn't have her eyes replaced because of an accident. She did it willingly. When she got in the office, she was in instant regret. This season, she was out on Rockefeller Center. In the episode hosted by Alexander Skarsgård, she took off her coat with that really low-cut dress, and her reaction there was, heard not one woo. Because she looked damn good in that thing. I think she's the one cast member who's had her severed head used the most of any SNL cast member.
So congrats to Squirm.
I'm trying to remember if they did that in that tennis sketch with Jason Momoa.
She lost her insides for sure.
Yeah, she had the big hole in her baseball ball, went right through her stomach. Wonderful CGI work. So now we're on to one of my favorites because she's Canadian. She's the first Canadian hire since Norm Macdonald, and that's a long time ago.
No.
She auditioned for season 50, did not make it in, but they brought her in for season 51. That's Veronica Sloankowska, and I absolutely adore her. She can sing like the Sabrina Carpenter episode when she was playing the dryer in the washer-dryer set, and her costume started falling apart. She did not miss a beat. She just dealt with it the best that she can. There's a interview with the rookie cast this season, which includes Tommy Brennan, Jeremy Culhane, Tam Patterson, and Ben Marshall. She went with it. That's a particular moment that she brings up. The first one that really caught people's attention was in the Finn Wolfhard episode. Another Canadian, I might add. Guy's Girl. Her and Jane have really been good for each other. The White Castle drive-thru has been universally loved. Some update stuff. Beth's maid of honor Katie talking about the week's news, but entering it, but sort of saying things about the bride. And like Jane, she gained a lot of popularity through TikTok. She's also been a big part of the Boys podcast, the Snack Homies. She has this Bart Simpson kind of energy, is what I find. Her and Bob Army. And Bob Arby is definitely on my top 10 of the season. The Hungover Halloween game show. The prize was like a bottle of Pedialyte. And who can forget the epic Cousin Planet. So this is where the Veronica and Jane, they found each other and they did a thing outside of the show about Cyber Monday. It's an energy thing. She just brings so much to every character she does. She's definitely knows she's going to be back next season because they'd be a absolute fool to let her go. I'm always going to root for the Canadian.
Could not agree more. Veronica is definitely my favorite rookie. They're all good, but she's my favorite. She just came on guns a-blazing in that washer and dryer sketch, which was really early in her time on the show. Handled it like a pro. As Deej says, she has such a fabulous voice. The interview that Deej was talking about, where they interview all the rookies and show what they said at the beginning of the season when they were interviewed and their answers now here at the end, they showed a lovely little piece of her and Tommy being the warm-up. And they've been doing that all season long with their singing. And I thought that was fascinating. And she was talking about how that was something she loved because it was the one thing they were not going to take from her. It was not going to get cut. and she was going to get to do it twice a night. And so I was really excited when they showed just a little tiny snippet of her and Tommy singing together. I got to find more because I bet they're fantastic. I bet they've got that whole Donnie Marie thing going on. I love it. Called her a Swiss Army knife in my notes from our earlier show where we talked about the first half of the season. She really is a Swiss Army knife, much like her compatriots, Sarah and Ashley. She can slide into anything. She can be the superstar. She can take a back seat. She can be a duo like she was with Jane. She and Jane are just, as DJ already commented, just brilliant together. They're like French fries and ketchup. They're perfect together. And I'm so happy that Jane found her person. As Dee said, you just need to find your person. And she found her person. I think she found several people because she works well with so many. She gets paired up a lot with, like she did with Finn, as the girlfriend who's trying to be one of the guys. She often gets hooked up with host. She's been paired up with the guys. She can do it all. She's, again, that singing voice. I want to hear more of the singing. I hope they give her more chances to use that. Viva Veronica! She is fantastic. And I hope that we see many, 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 many more sketches from her because she's an absolute delight and a riot.
Veronica just continues to become more and more 3D for me because I don't look anyone up. I don't know where they come from. I don't have TikTok. I really just rely on this show to show me who someone is. And she just is continuing to evolve so I can hear a little bit more of her voice and her perspective, I think. It's a little bit quirky. It's like a little bit Lonely Island informed. And then Dee, you're saying she was really into musicals and musical theater, did that stuff professionally before this. Is that right?
No, I think you're getting confused with Annabelle Marlowe from SNL UK.
No, Veronica continues to show me a little bit more of her quirkiness and her perspective on things. Because you can tell it's it's a little bit weird because they're all a little bit weird. That's why they're on SNL. What's her weird? So I'm starting to get a taste of that. And when she pairs up with Jane, it's oh my God, more of that. Whatever chemistry is going on there, it's so cute. It's so easy. It's so compatible. It's such a pleasure to watch them. SNI thought kind of really dropped the ball with making a female duo a few seasons ago. I thought we had a flash of, I think it was Chloe and Heidi. They were they did a Paris thing in the Megan Thee Stallion episode. The doubleheader. I don't know why SNL's not really focusing on that, on female duos, but she and Jane are so great. They're so fantastic that you can just tell they're having so much fun, and they've joked about this for hours and hours before this, and I really enjoy watching them together, so I hope we get a lot more of that.
And just a couple more highlights. Now, she hasn't done a lot of impressions yet. She was Alex Earle in the Influencers Update.
Oh, and when she was the bridesmaid explaining, it was a different flip on the drunk you wish you never started a conversation with the party. Yeah, that was such a smart way to do current events, though. I was really impressed with the construction of that and the way she executed that. I was like, whoa.
She's doing the thing about the news and then back to the wedding thing and talking about the bride. But the one impression that people seem to love her for the most this year is Post Malone.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes.
That was such a transformation. A lot of that is the makeup departments, and this is the random duet Christmas Spectacular, who is singing with Bjork. And I'm trying to remember who was Bjork.
It was Chloe.
Well, Bjork was Chloe.
She was a great Bjork. I meant to mention that when we were talking about good. Chloe. That was one of my favorite impressions that she's done. It was a great sketch.
Everything about that sketch was making fun of itself. With Bing Crosby and
David Bowie.
David Bowie really did a duet, which I didn't know about because I'm a little bit younger than you guys, and it's so absurd. And the fact that they built upon that is, oh my God, no notes. That was such a fun sketch. Everyone in that, everything about it.
It was a mashup with Little Drummer Boy and Peace on Earth. Veronica, Shantae, you stay, as I was to quote the great RuPaul. So this is Jane's second season with the show. She was the one left standing from season 50. She was Ashley Olsen in the Thanksgiving sketch last year. And first season, but even more polarizing than Chloe Fineman. She felt she was too low key, which is kind of correct. That's kind of just her general vibe. But she still did some great stuff that season. They were giving her shit for looking at the cards too much during the water park sketch. But you know what? The cue cards are there for a reason. It's like Bill Hader says, you're not acting on SNL, you're performing. And with how things change, sometimes you have to look at the cue cards. You can't memorize everything. It's just not possible. She did have some great stuff the first season. She was the couple you can't believe are together, which has carried on to this season. Season 51 is the year of Jane. She has continued with Weekend Update, but bringing more characters to it. So the first one was the person apparently on TikTok was saying for every sort of thing she does that year, she'll get a button and trying to explain it. Didn't really happen. And then when she did the
Gen Z sex therapist.
Yes, that one. There's a few parts of the season where she basically came in, did a line, and left. But when she gets that one line, she nails it. In particular with the courtroom sketch, the Harry Styles episode, and a couple of the bridesmaid sketch, she seemed to be the more kind of thirsty one. So the lines that she had there, Cousin Planet, which we mentioned before. The one that I say is my ultimate favorite for Jane this year is Olympics Luge, the Olympics promo.
Yes.
Triple that, yes.
Yeah, and play that with Alexander Skarsgård. And that's it. So the only reason I'm in this is because I have the right body type. And she just did not want to go, which I kind of don't blame her. She did end the season on a song. Earlier, she did one on the Stranger Things kids, which was totally weird. Jane has just really blossomed this season. I'm quite sure that she's coming back next year. With her and Veronica together, it's like John Mulaney and Bill Hader, Mikey and Streeter. You got all these people together that you find on the show that make each other better, because that's the one thing that you learn in improv or even acting is part of your job is not only to do your bit, is also to make other people look good as well. Because then that way, things are funny, things are successful.
What I think is one of the things Jane has become very well known for this season is being the button at the end with the one line or the one action, like the Wayward Son sketch, where they're all ripping off their outfits. And Jane is the only woman who says, heck yeah! She rips her outfit and it has the rock and roll 80s garb on. And then there's, of course, her zingers and all of the plethora of wedding sketches where Connor Story is the injured stripper. And she's like, his body isn't really that great. We know you're gay. or wherever that one was. I think that was in a different sketch where she's kind of, I think Deej mentioned she's playing the thirsty one and their retort is, we already know you're gay. It's okay. She had a lot of those little moments all dotted throughout the season. And I love that she can just come in and give the one line. In the karate sketch, which I wasn't that big a fan of, where they bring her on as the secret weapon. Awesome. I love that. Love that a woman was the secret weapon, number one. But number two is the way Jane plays it. And and in the sketch where Skarsgård is the girl that's kind of the oddball and Jane has her sleepover, she has some classic lines there too. So yeah, it's not all, you don't have to be the superstar. You can just deliver those perfectly placed lines, perfectly placed moments. And Jane is an expert at that. And I see her only getting better and getting stronger and, becoming more and more adept at that skill set. And they need that skill set because not everybody has it. So I'm certainly hoping she returns. People are still saying they don't want her to come back. Each to their own, but I definitely want to see more of her. I think she's fantastic. I think she brings a very different flavor to the show.
Yeah, and I'll say, first of all, justice for Jane. I will say, as an opposite maybe to some other cast members we've discussed, Jane, you almost knew exactly what she was about when she came on. Like she did TikTok songs. She was awkward and very tall. That was her thing. Like that was her niche. That was who she was. You knew exactly who she was. Like that's how she looked and that's who she was. And I really wonder what it must have been like what this should be like for you watching this without Reddit or SNN or you ladies, because I don't know what the experience would be like, because now having been on that side, it's so different. Because the way I would be is exactly the same. I'm just like, I'm very ambivalent to a new person on SNL. I'm like, okay, cool. Let them cook. Okay, great. Okay. Like that's it. Like I really have no anger or, elation. I'm just like, all right, new cast member. All right. That's kind of the gist of it. But Reddit hated her guts, like hated her. Like they would do entire threads like mid-show, like mid-episode, like, do we think it's good that someone can't read their cue cards right? And it's like, we know you're talking about Jane. The episode's not even done yet, people. Like mid-episode, people would like multiple posts, separate posts, like not the live episode thread, separate posts, like criticizing or shadow dissing her, or just out now saying like Jane's terrible, should be fired. Like blatant posts like this. I was like, what? Why are you? This is what I just was agog at, like the instant and rallying hatred for Jane. I was like, what? I think people took all their rage at losing Chloe Trost so easily, which is like, I'm not gonna lie, that like really disturbed my faith in humanity, that she was so talented and so gone. I couldn't believe it. I don't think any of us could believe it. That it was like a sure thing. And I think people were so mad at that, they were blaming her for it. Like they blamed Bowen Yang that Shane Gillis didn't get hired. So they transferred all this hate. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the phenomenon is. And I was like, all right, she doesn't have that many lines. Whatever. Like, I'm sure she will. Like, okay, Lauren is not stupid. And then when she started doing TikTok songs, I was like, well, I don't love this. But then she did another and I was like, I kind of like this. And then it became like so there must be some self-awareness. I swear to God, they read the Reddit threads, because the Atlantic would write articles about how they didn't address the Alex Pretty murder after the ICE thing. And it was, that whole thing. So clearly people are listening to the street on Reddit or whatever. So it's almost like Jane became like a parody of herself, because people would make fun of her so much for being too tall, too wooden. She can't get her lines out right. She's not natural. She's a corpse. All these things. So when the Luge sketch happened, when the Winter Olympics sketch happened, and I think we talked about it then, it was almost like she was playing herself on the show. It's like, I got picked for this because I had the right body type, and I'm just going to go straight down. Like, there's no skill. I'm just there. And it's like, oh, this is funny. And then gradually, I don't know if she leaned into it or they wrote around it better. I don't know what happened, but they started incorporating her really acidic one-liners into all these sketches where she was either really thirsty or really not thirsty, both really funny. And then her weekend update pieces got more and more funny. The Gen Z sex therapist who's a virgin, it's so funny to me. Like, I can't even breathe. That's such a funny, on the nose commentary about what the difference in this generation. Like a sex therapist who's never had sex. Like, that is so perfect from all the conversations I hear online. I'm like, oh, I'm not in this age bracket at all. I'm way out of this age bracket. What are you guys talking about? That's perfect. She's leaned into it. I don't know whether the show is leaned around her or what. I don't know what happened. But it's like there was a barrier that broke, and it's almost like she's become like a self-referential joke, and I love it so much. And when they use her height, like when they did the leg extension sketch with Connor Story, and Connor Story stood up with these like ridiculous like stilt legs, but he's almost the same height as Ben Marshall and Jane. That was so funny to me. I was like, what is happening right now? I don't even know if that was on purpose. It was such an absurd throwaway joke because Marcelo stood up next to them and he's like so much shorter. Like, I'm sure he's like average height, but Jane is very above average height, and so is Ben. I love it so much. I think, bring the hate on. The hate has died down a lot. She's won over Reddit because now they're using her lines. They're like, I've seen it in multiple threads, like, maybe stop asking her stuff. Like, because Jane said that in the sleepover episode with Skarsgård. Yeah, so congratulations to Jane. She's won me over for sure. I'm no longer ambivalent. I'm like, ooh, Jane, part of me wants to like piss off the haters because she has less now, but she still has some. And I'm just like, oh, this is gonna be funny because I think she's very comedic on her own. Just like she's got a funny like disposition. It's funny because she's so dour looking a lot of times, and that's kind of funny. So I enjoy her presence very much on the show, and when she and Veronica are doing something together, more of that again, more of that, please. So yeah, justice for Jane. Looking forward.
Yeah, there was a Cut for Time pre-tape, the car song about why her car door is so weird with her and Veronica, and that was something that I think shouldn't have been cut from that particular episode. And I briefly mentioned the courtroom sketch with Terry Styles when she's reading back the thing from Maniscalco as the stenographer, just ripping it off, just. She would have. I'm really surprised she wasn't in the auctioneer sketch because I think she would have done well with that. But just that one little bit, you are so awesome. Cue cards, and I've mentioned this a few times on Hater. I've mentioned this basically of all sorts of places. Is dealing with the cue cards is a skill that you aren't inherently born with because there's so much that goes. There's the three different. There's Wally in the middle, who mainly does the host cards, but then they have the two people at either side. And the one thing that Dan Aykroyd had said to Bill Hader was, don't worry about that you're looking at the cards. You're supposed to look at the cards. That's how you get your lines. That's how you can actually get things out the right way. And this is all part of you're not acting, you're performing. You can do more acting on Weekend Update because you can have a character and you can sit more into it. So that is all for the ladies of this year. My big hope for next year, please get us a woman of color or any ethnicity on the cast because it's needed. There's a big ego notum size hole in that, and that has to be fixed. So, trying to think what else. So I really do hope all the ladies come back because they're all absolutely wonderful in their own ways. Sorry, do you have any particular hopes for the ladies for season 52?
I just want them all back, and I want a few more. Not one, maybe two, maybe three, and no more guys. Let's go one season without adding a male. It doesn't happen a lot. No disrespect to the men, but let's just pepper it with a few more women, and then we can bring in a few new men next season. That is my hope. It is a small hope, and I doubt it's going to happen, but I would love it. They've got a writer on staff. She was in a sketch. She's a Black African-American writer. She seems like she's very funny. She seems like she has training in front of the camera.
Yeah, she does have a sketch background.
Just slip her in there. Come on, at least give her a sketch. Just do an Yvonne Hudson and slip her in a few. See how it goes. If it goes well, keep her around. Yes, I want them to more women of different backgrounds. There's plenty of them out there. They're everywhere. Find a few, put them on the show.
And Debbie, what is your hope for the ladies of SNL for season 52?
I'm all back. Everything is great. I'm definitely with Shari 100,000,000%. And what's that Star Trek motto? Infinite diversity, infinite combinations. Like, yes, bring us more versions of a woman, different races. Yes, please. You need that for comedy. Like, you need that perspective. So any and all women of color, and I love the idea of not having another new male cast member. I think we're good. I think we have enough. They're all really talented guys. Let's get some more ladies. So I 100% agree with Shari. And you, Deej, like, bring them back. We love them. And also, can we please have some more?
Oh, yeah. So IDIC is infinite diversity in infinite combinations.
Yes.
And
great show.
We also don't want to have to rely on cameos to play certain parts. It's just not right. That's why I had to bring Aziz Ansari, which I'm glad they've sort of learned from the past. So when Sharon Stone hosted, they did this airport security thing where they had Dana Carvey playing an Indian man, and it's like, yeah, let's not do that no more. So it's important for the show.
Yeah.
And so that finishes us with the Ladies of SNL for season 51. We love them all in their own ways. Or we're going to be alternating every week with Sweetheart Hater. Do keep in mind that if you are a lady or non-binary or a newly minted lady, get in contact with us. Saturday Night Ladies 1975 at gmail.com. We would love to have you on as a guest. Because we just need more women here on the show. Thank you very much for joining us once again. Although the world may seem pretty bleak, go forth and find the funny.
Funny is hope.
Saturday Night Ladies is a presentation of Wacky Notion Productions. Hosted by Deeds Behrens, Shari Fesco, and Debbie Constantine. Recorded and edited by Deeds Behrens. Off-week show research by Shari Fesco. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, just email Saturday Night Ladies 1978 at gmail.com. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for listening.